Good morning, Francis. Hiya. Just put it on my computer so I can see all the comments as we go. Hi, Philippa. There we go. Oh, the pulsing has started. I wish we could sort this pulsing out. I've tried my best this morning, but it's not having any of it. So, I am looking forward to this one. This one's quite a pretty little set to make. So, hi Christine, hi Sandy, hi Katie. So, we've got a few coming on now. Hi Jane. Thank you everybody for joining me. Hi Brian. You all okay? The weather's not too grand here this morning. It's raining, just for a change. I was hoping to get my roof started today, but as yet I've heard nothing, so you watch. They'll come right in the middle of my live. Now, hi Jackie. Right, we've got a few on, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to start it, just in case somebody turns up. I can only apologise for the pulsing. Not a clue why it does it. Maybe it's because it's too close. Who knows? Let's see if we can build it up a bit and stop that happening. No, it's still happening. Hey ho. Right, we'll make a start. Now, obviously, I haven't got the original one. I sent that to Julie, so I don't really have anything to show you. But you've seen the pictures. You've seen the pictures on Facebook. So, yeah, all's good, Brian. Thanks. Yeah, for a change. No dramas, apart from the roof. But there you go. That's life, eh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the carcass of it first, and we'll go from there. So there's quite a few bits and bobs to this one, so we'll do it as we go. So for the main carcass, I'm using 300 GSM card. Hi Joe, hi Pam, hi Yvonne. I'm using 300 GSM card for the whole thing. Okay, this red stuff I think is doesn't feel too thick actually. I think it's probably about 210 for the matting and layering. So the white card for the main carcass measures 10 inches by 6.5 inches. Okay, so if you bring in your scoreboard, and we're going to score that one at 4.5 inches. We've got the 10 inches across the top, and we're going to score it at 4.5 inches and 5.5 inches. And then you're going to burnish them folds down really well. And that's the main part of it done. That's the bit that wraps around everything. And then we've got some smaller pockets. Okay, these are what hold all the little gift cards and tags and things. So we've got a piece that's 7.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Okay, so you're going to put it on with the 7.5 inch across the top, and you're going to score it down at 1/2 inch. Turn it round, score it down at 1/2 inch, and then you're going to turn it so that the 5.5 is across the top, and we are going to score it at 2.5 and 3 inches. Okay, so then put all them folds in, and the key to this, obviously, because it's a little pocket, is nice folds. So use your bone folder, and then you can fold all these edges in as well. There we are. Now you'll see on this, what I've done is, on the little tiny flap there. Morning Karen. There we go. What I've done there is just mitered the, took a little miter off, and I'll show you how to do that now. There's the flap. So all you're going to do is take a little tiny slither from that end to the corner and that end to the corner. Now you don't have to do that, but I find it just kind of tucks in a little bit more neatly if you do that. So I tend to do that on all the boxes and all the pockets. Even when I'm making albums, I still do the same thing with there. Do a little mitre. Just cut out some of the bulk as well. Okay. So before I go any further, I'm going to locate the rubber and take these markings off here. And put that on one side. And then we've got a small tiny pocket that houses the tags. Okay, and that measures 4.5 inches by 3.25 inches. Okay, so remove the markings there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it, so the 3.25 is at the top, and mark it, score it rather, at 1/2 inch. Turn it round 1/2 inch. Then put your 4.5 at the top and score it at 2 and 2.5. Okay, so then all of them are already burnished, so that's that one. Then the third and final pocket is the one that holds the little gift cards, and that is 4.25 inches by 4.5 inches. And we're going to put the 4.25 at the top and score down at 1/2 inch. Turn it round and score at 1/2 inch. Then you put the 4.5 at the top and you score it at 2 and 2.5, and you mitre those little flap things there. Okay, so that's the scoring for now. We may need a bit later. So now what I want to do is put these together. Now the thing I found, the easiest way to do this really is to decorate. I didn't rub that one off. Decorate it before you put it together. I find it easier, to be fair. So on your large one, you want to add a matten layer, just one, to the front of it. Okay, so that's going to go on there. Now all I've done is measured this part here, this whole thing, so it measures 2.5 by 6.5, and I've come in just a little bit, couple of mil, and that is going to glue onto the front of there. Okay, so put that on now, and then all this can be drying. I'm using Studio Light Tacky Glue. I think I might have mentioned this before. I used to use Pinflair Glue It, and then I discovered this, and it's exactly the same in my eyes, and it's cheaper. So I only ever use this now. So layer that on, put it on nice and neat so you've got a bit of a border all the way around. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold that flap in, and you're going to fold them together like that. Okay, I tend to put the front one so it lies flat backwards rather than having the back one coming over the front. It just looks a bit neater. So we're needing a bit of glue on that one. Okay, and then we're needing some glue on this one. So put it together nice and square, hence why you need to burnish well. Okay, there we are. Now if you've got some little pegs, that's grand, or you can just use your finger and hold it together. Hi Julie! It's alright, you haven't missed much as yet. Just making the little panels. And then the same on this side. Okay, pop that little tab in. Bit of glue on that one. Fold it down. A little bit of glue on that one. Not too much. It'll only squirt out if you do and go all over it. There we are. And I did exactly what I didn't want to do and put that one forwards, but there you go. Doesn't matter, you can't see it. It's quite a nice, neat little box. Okay, so once that's done, square it up and leave it to dry. And then you can do the other two in exactly the same way. Okay, so for this one, for this nice one here, I have stamped using Peter's poppies. Any one of those will fit on the front of there. Up to you which one you choose. And I've chosen that one. And of course I've matted and layered it. Again, all you need to do for that is find out how big this panel is here and make a mat and layer for it in red. And then your little white one on top. I mean, you don't have to put the red one on. It's totally up to you. I just thought it gave it a little bit of contrast. There we are. So pop that centrally on. And slide it to one side. No. Pop it on. Make sure you do get it centrally, because obviously when your box is all done, it sometimes helps if you fold them up and then you can see that you've got an even border around it. And you do these pockets, all of them, in exactly the same way. Okay, so make sure that you've burnished the sides of them so it does sit nice and square. This one I didn't do. So I can see there I didn't cut that very straight, and that would become a bit of a sticky out bit. As I've said before, I'm not very good with scissors. There we go. Make that one straight either. Just take off the little shard because you want it to have a nice square finish. There we go. So, bit of glue on there. Find out which is the front one, and then you want a bit of glue on that one. There we go. Slide them together. Make sure they fit nice and snug. And that little tab that's inside, make sure that it's glued to the top. You know, it's glued inwards. I don't know if you can see that. It's glued flat there, because otherwise it does tend to stop your cards sliding in nicely, you know, when you put them in. So square it up and then you can put your glue on. I mean, this thing is such a nice little gift. And it really doesn't, once you've done all the prep and you've done all the cutting out, it doesn't really take that long. And can you imagine all of the stamps that Julie's got that you can make this with? These would be lovely little gifts for Christmas, or, you know, just as a, just because gift, really. I mean, who doesn't love a stationery set? So, that's that one done. And as you can see, the pocket's on. The embellishments on the front. Same with this. On we go. I used a different stamp this time. I coloured them with Distress Ink, so I'm going to do a bit of colouring in a minute, so you will see how I got to do the loose variation of colouring that I do. Centralise it up. There we go. Any questions so far? No? Straightforward enough, isn't it? So, a little glue on that one. Little glue on that one. Spread it up. Finger in, put that tab up. And then do the other side. I guess once you made this one, I would suggest that if you make this one first, then you will get a really good idea on how you could make this bigger and make it for bigger cards. I'm just going to nip that off there because it's not straight. So that goes onto your tab, and then down we go. Onto there. Square it up, hold that tab up. Good morning, Nicole from the Netherlands. Nice to have you with us. How lovely. There we are. There's the 3 pockets done. I'll just leave them there to dry. I just wanted to say something about this, actually. Although this is made from 300 GSM card, and well, by putting your mat and the layers on, you do make it quite sturdy. But if you were to wanted to, you could make it out of grey board, okay? And those you need 3 panels. Obviously, grey board you can't do in 1 panel because it doesn't stand up. It won't fold properly. So you would have to do it how you do a traditional album. And the panels then, as you can see, are 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, that one for each side, and then the middle spine as such is 6.5 by 1 inch. Okay, and then all you would do would be to put it together with your construction tape, something like that, so you've got a gap so that when it comes up it's able for the sides. You need that gap there. I think you've seen me do it before, and I do have a YouTube channel that I don't actually put much on very much lately, but there is a 3-part tutorial on how to make an album from scratch, but it's an 8 by 8 album, but it's put together in exactly the same way. I do show you how to do the pages and everything, but then that would be a really substantial carcass to your stationery set then. So here we go. I'm just going to rub these out. I don't really need to because I'm going to put panels on, but there you go. So for the panels, you have to put the panels on before you do anything else really. So again, because they measure 4.5 by 6.5, I've just come in, I think, by 1/4 inch, and you need 4 of these panels. So 1 for each of the inside and 1 on each of the outside. Okay, I'll come, but the outside one I have stamped. So, and then you've got a white matting layer on the top. Again, up to you whether you bother with the red panel. Totally up to you. I just think it, like I said, adds a nice contrast. So I've come in by 1/4 inch for those each time. So there we are. Put these on first. And then turn it over and do the same with these panels on the back. I always love watching when people make whatever is done on a live. I love the way they add their variations to it. It's great. Imagine how many different ones we are hopefully going to see. So for this one, I've used a couple of pieces different stamps, and I've just stamped a border across, coloured them in with distress inks, which you're going to see me do in a minute, and that's going to be my front panel. So on with the red one first. I just thought these stamps made such a nice little item. They're just so pretty, aren't they? Hi Andreen. It's alright, don't worry, you can catch the rest up later. It's only really the folding and scoring of the pockets that takes the time. The rest of it is all total creativity, isn't it? How you want to do it. So that's them all done. Alright, so while they're all drying, I think I'll get on to making the cards and things. And then we can just pop it all together at the end. Alright, so we've got some little 3x3s that are going to fit inside that long pocket. Okay, so for that, obviously, you need a piece of card that is, turn it over, 6 inches by 3 inches, and we're going to score that at 3 inches. So you get a 3x3 card. We need 4 of those. Okay. Burnish it well. And then bring in your stamp platform. Mine's nice and clean. And then all you've got to do is decide which one of the poppies you're going to put on. I think I'll go with the same one here as this one. Just move it up a bit. I'm out of shot now, aren't I? There we go. So pop it there, just on the side, and I've used the sentiment "Make Your Dreams Happen" on this. So pop that on while you're at it, and you can do the two together. No stenciling on this one as such yet. We're going to keep the stenciling for the big card at the end. Okay, pop one of them on. Now, I'm using Versa Fine Onyx Black for this. And I'm really mad because I'm all out of stamp cleaner for cleaning my stamp. I make my own stamp cleaner. And I meant to make some yesterday and I completely forgot. Okay, so there we go. That's that. So I'm using just an old cloth to clean them off before I put them in. So if you want the recipe for the stamp cleaner, it's very easy and it's really cheap to make. It is, let me think, 2 tablespoons of liquid glycerin, which you can get in the chemist if you haven't already got it for your faux leather techniques for the card. It's 2 tablespoons of liquid glycerin, 1 tablespoon of baby shampoo, and I get the cheap ones. One of them I've got is it's got lavender in, which makes the stamp cleaner smell quite nice. And then you need an 8-ounce spritzer bottle and a bottle of distilled water, or just boiled water, up to you. You put it all in, shake it up, job's good. Cleans them really nicely as well. So I'm just going to get a piece of tissue and make sure that this is not wet. No, it's all good. And bring in my little bit of Perspex and my distress ink and some water and my water brush. I never put water in a water brush because I squeeze it too hard and I always end up flooding everywhere. So I just put a bit of water down on there. Look, already I've got ink on my fingers and I haven't done anything. So get your water brush a bit damp. Take up some of the red, and it's lumberjack plaid I'm using, distress ink. Obviously you don't have to paint it. You can use your pencils, or if you do it in Memento you can use your alcohol markers. So I've just put a little bit down and then I'm going to flood it out so it's a bit paler there, and then while it's still wet I'm going to drop in some of the darker colour in just a few areas. I really like watercolour. It just doesn't take too much doing, really. So obviously you've got to do 4 of these. So I'll paint the little bud red on that one, and then I need a little bit of blue, which I'm using this blue. It's the Studio Light Water Reactives. I just quite like that tone of blue. It's quite bright. So in with this, because it's such a cute little stamp, you don't need to do too much. So that's that one. So obviously you make 4 of them, leave them to dry. I am using a slightly different colour blue this time, And then you need to make yourself, I'll leave that on one side because I will use that again in a minute. So then you need to make yourself 4 of those. And these are 5x7 cards, I think. I shall measure them for you. I can't remember now. No, they're not 5x7, they're 4x6, sorry. My bad. So, like I said, there's nothing stopping you doing bigger ones on a bigger set. That would be nice. Right, so for this then, I'm going to bring in, I've got that wet now, Julie's Background 3. That's really good for putting water everywhere. Julie's Background 3 stencil. I think this must be my most well-used stencil ever, to be fair. So I'm going to pop that on, and I don't want too much, so I'm going to see what's on the back of my brush already, on my brush. I'm just going to put a little bit down. I'm using the Helenium stamp for this, so I need to put this back down and move it over just to give myself a little bit more on that side, but light and gentle. There you go, that'll do fine. And then I'm going to stamp piece of stamps on it again and colour them in this exact same method that you just seen me do. So pop it on. It's going straight on the front of the card. There's no mats and layers on this one. So let's get the stamps out. I did give them a clean, hopefully they'll be alright. But just in case, I'm going to position them on a piece of acetate where I want it, so it doesn't mark the card. And then, right, which one did I put on there? Spread your wings and fly. So let's go with that one as well. So see where that's going. Make sure it's the right way up, obviously. And try and get it as straight as you can. There we are. Pick the two up at once. Put that one up there so it doesn't move when I'm stamping it. There we go. What did we do with our before stamp platforms got here? I wonder. There we go. There we are. Clean it, put it away. And obviously we need 4 of these because I think it'll actually fit 5 in, but I only made 4, I think, in the last set. So take that out, and now we can paint that one as well. I do need to pick up my green for the leaves. So when I'm doing these, I'm not bothered that you can see a bit of red stenciling through. If you were bothered and you wanted it totally green, then, you know, when you're painting the leaves without the little bit of red behind it, well, then there's a few things you can do. You can either make a mask, stamp it down, put the mask on, do your stenciling, remove the mask, or you can stamp it, fussy cut another one and put it over the top once you've done your stenciling, or you can just go put the stamp down first and be very careful of where you stencil around it, or you can pull out this colour first by the faux bleach method and add your proper colour underneath. But like I said, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. So let's get a bit of green on the leaves. Again, you can use whatever you want, pencils, whatever you like, to paint these. And you can go in as many times as you want, put a light layer down if you wish, and then go in when it's dry, put a bit more in, darken bits of it up. I'm going to be really brave and try and do the stems with the water brush. Don't normally usually use a pencil or something, but with watercolour it can be as loose as you want it. If it goes outside the lines, well, then it was meant to be like that whenever you're giving it out. So there we are. This is my favourite one, this peel paint, and it's kind of, it's getting to the end of its life. I use it a lot. So paint that one down there too. Oh, look at me with a steady hand today. Obviously I haven't had too much coffee. So give this a wash and a dry, ready to go in with the red for the heleniums. I don't know what colour heleniums are. I am no gardener, but today the red. So I'm putting a bit of dark on. And obviously, because there's the red in the background and I'm using the same red, using a bit of water now will just pull that red out. So that's all good. And then you can pull it and merge it, add as much colour as you wish to it. I think I went kind of dark with these. There wasn't much tint on them at all. I just kind of ad-libbed. You can always darken it up. I am no painter, but I do enjoy watercolouring. So that's that one done then. And then you can just leave that to dry. So there we are, slightly different again. in the tones and colours. Again, I'm going to need that probably in a minute, so I shall leave that there. Leave them there. Right, so what's next? We've got the 4 cards. We've got the tags to do next. So this is the finished tags are 3 1/4 by 2 inches. Okay, and all I've done, and if you haven't got one of these fancy tag shapes, then don't worry, you can just do the normal thing where you put your corners up straight, you know. There we are. Yeah, that's right, Julie. It doesn't need too much, does it? Really, you know, doesn't need too much at all. So I've got one of these fancy tag cutters. So you kind of just line it up in the middle, roughly. Press it down. Now, mine does pull a little, but there you go. That's how you do the tag end, and then you just nip it to this particular size. Okay. So I'm just going to cut that straight across, hopefully straight, and then we can stamp on it. There we are, so they're all the same size. I think you can fit about 6 little tags in. So, how many have I got there? 4. So I've just showed you how to do that. I'm not going to stamp and colour it because I'm only going to put 4 in it. Or leave a clear one. Or don't put any stamping on at all. It's totally up to you. And they fit just nicely inside there. Okay. So that's those done. Got the little cards done. So we need envelopes. Now, I do use an envelope maker. It's this one. The ink all over it. It's a Stampin' Up one. It's an old one. I did see that. Oh, there's plenty around, isn't there? You know. But to be honest, because these are so small, you might just get away with a fold. So I'm going to show you how this works. All right. There we go. So the card for the large cards is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 to start with. Okay. And it looks like we go in at 4 5/8. Okay, well, I think what you need to do really to use one of these is just measure your card. I can't remember what it was now. It's 6 by 4. And so you look down here until you find 4 by 6. That's it there. Okay, so it tells you need an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece of card or paper or whatever you're using. Sometimes I just use copy paper. And you put it in at 3 3/8. Okay, so in it goes 3 3/8. Okay, you press that down and you use this little score tool that comes with it to score down there. Okay, and then all you do is you line that score line up with this little notch here. It's a really handy piece of kit. You don't need any measurements after that. You absolutely don't need any measurements. You just keep lining the score lines up, clicking it to make the notch, and score. Turn it, line up the score lines, click it, and score. And then again, round, click it, and score. And you do that 4 times for your cards. And then, obviously, you fold it up and you make your envelope. Now, what I was thinking was, if you started with an 8 by 8, 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece. So there's your envelope then, guys. You can see that. Okay. If you started off with a square piece, if you actually made your cards first, if you imagine these notches haven't been cut out, okay, and you just line it centrally and you folded it, everywhere those cross sections ended up, you just cut out there. Well, that was my thought on it anyway. But I guess some of you might have those envelope makers. So that one that we've just done makes the card envelopes for the big cards, and then you have to do exactly the same thing again, but this time for the little cards, and that starts with the 4¼ 5¼ by 5¼ So I'll show you what I meant by the folds. If you put your card in, okay, into your piece of paper, centrally, eyeball it, fold it over, fold it up, fold it down, okay, where all those corners cross, you just take them out like that, as straight as you can with a pair of scissors. Take them little notches out, or you can just put more cards in and no envelopes, totally up to you. See, and then you've got your envelope. It's not that difficult, I don't think, to have a go at that. So where are we now? Let's move all this stuff out of the way. Don't know where I'm at. Okay, so we need to put this together now. We've got all the boxes dry. Okay. But what we do need to do is add some ribbon to tie it closed. Now, I used red, I think, last time. Red ribbon the last time. I'm all out of it, to be fair. So I thought I'd use this spotty one because it's kind of cute. So if you bring in some double-sided tape, I'm using this thin one because it's thinner than my ribbon. And I don't want to see it, but I do want this to stay down. I don't want it flapping about everywhere. So I'm going to put a piece of tape just across the white bit in the middle. Burnish it down. Try and get the back off sometime today. Oh, managed it. And what we want to do is leave enough so you can tie, and then just pop that down onto there. Okay, so there's your ribbon on, and then bring it round, right round the back. We're not going to secure it on the back, and then you can just trim off what you don't need. Okay, so there we are, that's that. And now we can build the front of it. So I stamped pieces, poppies and cornflowers, and again I just need to colour those. So let's have them coloured while I'm at it. I forgot I had to colour them in, otherwise I could have done it before when I was doing the others. So a bit of water in with the poppies. The cornflowers have already been coloured. That bit I did. Bit of red on. Oh, I'm not even in camera shot. What's that all about? And then just wick the colour out of it there. There we go. It's funny how you go silent when you're colouring, isn't it? Yeah, while I'm colouring, I'll just have a look. Yeah, it's really easy, Julie. I think that one was a Stampin' Up one. I've had it years and years and years, but since then, they're everywhere. We Are Memory Makers do them. In fact, I'm sure Stamps by Me were on telly with them the other day. Tony Darrick's got one now. Hers does a lot more than just envelopes, mine. She's got a few other little gadget bits on it. But there we go. Have I got it all? Yeah, it's all done. I shall move that before I put my fingers in it. So, and then I cut myself a piece of red to go behind this. This is going to sit on top. You can put it on with foam pads or just glue it flat like I'm going to do now. Okay. So be careful because this might still be a bit wet now, Tracy. Don't mess it up. There we are. Make sure you've got the equal border job going on. Yeah. And then that's going to sit on there. This will go on flat or with foam pads. I think I'm just going to put it on flat. I foam padded the last one. I'm not going to worry too much that it needs to be raised up. There we are. And that just sits on the front there. press it down where there's no ink that I've just put on. And that's the front. I quite like that spotty ribbon, it looks quite cute. Okay, so open it up and now we can build the inside part real easy. I have a sentiment, be the reason someone smiles today. I think that is a beautiful sentiment. I really like that. So that's going to go on the inside top panel up there, right in the middle. Okay, there we are. And now it's time to put this together. This long one goes on first, okay? And what you want to do is line it up with the base here. So stick it on and line it with the base. Now, up to you what you use, red liner tape, glue. I prefer a bit of glue and then I can wiggle it about, make sure it's in the right place. Or red liner tape and glue. And then you're doubly covered. So that goes, as I said, line it up with the very bottom edge of the stationery box set thing. Once it's in, don't move it. Once it's on, I had that perfect first time. Okay, hold on to it, put your hand in and press it down. And this is why I like to decorate it before, because otherwise you'd be squishing it trying to put the stuff on the front. There we are. Okay, you can put your ruler in and press it down. That's a good trick if you can't get your hand in. Okay, and then you've got this one sits on top of it there, and this one sits on there. You can move them in a little bit so you can see some of the red around it, but you know, line them up at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people don't sell the cards, they just make them because they love to make them, eh? So, this is a really nice gift to give, you know, give yourself something to do, something to make. Again, line this up with the bottom. Yeah, it's a nice gift to give. I give most of my cards to, I usually give a big bag full of them to somebody in the family or friends, because I'd rather see them being used on. A lot of them do go to charity, like. I make so many, if I'm honest. Right, so again, once it's in, press it down with your ruler. You want this to stay put, stay together. I mean, what order you put it together in is totally up to you. You might want to glue these on first, so that they are fully dry. There we go. So that's that. And then all you have to do is gather up your cards and your envelopes and slide them in. So cards go in the back. There. The envelopes will fit in, no problem. There we go. Little cards, little envelopes go in this front pocket. And then all the tags. There we are, look, we can even get that one in. So it does fit more than 4, totally up to you how many you put in again, I say. So lots of tags fit in there. You can get loads of tags in that one, okay? And then pull it round, and when you fasten it, you just fasten it to the side like that. Right, I'm just going to move these so Julie's got a good shot for taking a photo. And you just tie it together there. There you go, matches. They are. It's actually, when you made it, you'll see it is quite a substantial thing because you've got so many mats and layers on. You know, it's quite a substantial little thing. So that's it, I think. Not too different. I've got a bit of something on there. Looks like pencil. Rub it out. So that's it. If anyone's got any questions, give us a shout. I'll always help you out. If you want the, I think I'll put the homemade stamp cleaner recipe up as well. So as you know, all of these you can get by looking at the top of all these stamps that I've used. They're all Julie's, and you can, and the dies as well. And you can check out the top of Julie's, this page, for all the stockists. And the same on the Julie Hickey, Crafty Friends of Julie Hickey. You'll get all the stockists there. That's if there's any left, because I'm sure these have been really busy because they're just beautiful. So thank you for joining me anyway, guys. And if, like I said, I'm always here. If you need anything, just give us a shout. And I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.